I'm honestly, like, super angry right now because, like, I don't know if you know this or anything, but Canada has these two things going on in New Brunswick right now, or mainly a majority of Canada. We have an election coming up, and all of these things are happening with the different provinces and stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people heard that conservative Alberta became NDP because not a lot of people who were conservative were just like, oh, we're not going to vote, or something like that. Anyways, the thing that's going on right now is there's an Energy East pipeline, which is a 4,600 kilometer long pipeline that's going to be carrying 1.1 million gallons of, or something, of crude oil from Alberta to eastern Canada. And that's a bad idea. Like, sure, the only positive thing I've really heard about it is that, oh, it'll create jobs, it'll bring up the economy, it'll do this, it'll do this, it'll do this. But what it is it's a gigantic thing that's going to go through towns and communities. Energies hasn't even said that, oh, we'll give jobs to the people that are in the communities and not people from other jobs elsewhere. They, like, with the BP oil spill that happened out on the boat area back in the early 2000s, the oil, we still have effects from that spill because we couldn't clean it up efficiently. And that was because mainly it was in the water. But if we have a leak or an oil spill, if the pipeline breaks or has any kind of malfunction in it at all, it'll destroy thousands upon thousands of things. It'll destroy the environment, it'll destroy, like, oil, like, is one of the main things that produces greenhouse gases. And if we have that pipeline, Canada will be producing more oil. And if we produce more oil, there's more greenhouse gases that'll go up into the environment. If we do that, then we're just destroying the ozone layer and the greenhouse gases, and I try to tell people about this, but all I'm hearing is, oh, it'll create jobs. Oh, it'll create jobs. And the same thing is with the fracking pipeline. And with the fracking pipeline, it does the exact same thing. The only thing I've heard about it is, oh, it'll create jobs. It'll create jobs. We can create jobs in other ways. Because fracking is just as terrible. It brings up SO2 gas. And, like, they say it won't leak, but companies cut corners in order to make things, like, more efficient, and those cutting the corners can be someone's death, or it can attribute to all these other things, because in Alberta does fracking, and what they did, there was this guy, and he was on a farm, and his family had, like, this commune on a farm, because they were just like, oh, we're just gonna live on this farm, and we're gonna be, like, a big old family, and we're gonna live off the land, and Alberta decided that, hey, you're on top of a whole thing of gas that we can get with the oil. And he's like, no, you can't do that on my land. And they're like, oh, well, you only bought the top bit of the land, everything under it is ours. So, like, they made a thing around him, and, like, SO2 gas came up, and, like, it would, like, it was harming his family, it was harming the water, it was everything. And, like, if New Brunswick has that fracking pipeline, that stuff's gonna happen in New Brunswick, and that's not gonna be a fun time for anyone. And, like, the Aboriginal community has been protesting this, and protesting other things, and protesting, like, they need better acknowledgement from the government, and the government just doesn't care. The government only cares about creating jobs, creating jobs, creating jobs, and that's all I'm hearing from the conservative thing. And, like, all of the parties, like, support this Energy East pipeline, and supporting this pipeline is not a good thing, because if there's an oil spill, it's gonna cost more money to fix, and it's gonna cost money, and money, and money, and money, and I hate capitalism, because capitalism just like, oh, we can do this to get more money, or we can do this to do this, or we can do this to create more jobs, and I'm just so mad about it, because there are other ways to create jobs, there's other ways to be more eco-friendly, there's other ways to do all these things, and no one seems to care.